So this is a very important session. We are starting with something new in Java. Whatever we have discussed up till now, taking inputs from user was being done with the help of Java scanner class, and it was all uh, console-based application. But this is a Java window programming, window-based application. So we'll be in this session, we'll be learning what is JFC, what is Swing, and how we use all those things in our Java program. Now, this is a very small sample program. I'll try to explain every bit of this, and then we'll move on to some more complex programs. Uh, Whenever we want, let me first run this program to show you what we are discussing. When we run this program, the output will be in this sort of window, and we can have buttons, we can have text boxes, we can click, and we can interact with the program. I'll run another program just to show you what we are discussing. Like in this program, we have a text box. You can type something in the text box, you can click, and you can see the output in the text box. Up till now, what we have discussed, everything was console based, because everything was coming on the prompt, on the terminal, and there only we were giving some input and we were getting some output. Now here, if we want to run a program for suppose calculating factorial, so we'll be inputting the number here in the window, and this window there will be button to calculate factorial. So that will be a better user interface. So what we are up to, we are trying to create Java programs where the user will interact through window instead of through console. Why this is important? Because when we give a window-based screen to a user to interact through our program, it is more user-friendly, and it becomes easier for user to understand and use the application. And in our project, we'll be creating some applications for the user. Suppose a simple calculator. So if we use a calculator, I can show you a simple calculator, how we use our calculator in our program. See, this is a calculator. So if we want to create this application wherein the user can click the buttons, then select the options, click the number and get the result. This is very much easier to understand. This cannot be done properly in the console application. So if we want to create such applications, we want first of all to create a window. And in this session, we will be learning the very basic things of creating a window and how to do the interaction with it. And in the coming sessions, we'll go deep into window programming in Java. So this is the first session of Windows programming in Java. So I'll start with a simple program. If you can see here, in this program, whenever we want to create window, then we have to import a package that is a swing package, Java X.swing package. Up till now, we have imported Java dot utility or Java dot other packages. But this is a Java X package. What is the difference between Java package and Java X package? All the Java X packages are written in Java itself. In the previous, when Java started, it was written in C and C++. So all the library things were developed in C and C++. Those packages are written in Java with Java extensions. And later on, all those packages were rewritten in Java so that it will be better to use and easier to handle. So all those things, all those packages which are written in Java are have this package Java X. So Swing is a package. It has all the classes which are required to create a window and the elements of window. And this package is written in Java itself. So it is under the comes under the Java X extension. Now, if we come to the main function, in the main function, we are creating an object of JFrame. This object JFrame is a class in Java X.Swing, and this F, what we are writing, we are creating a window. So we can give the name as window. This is an object of JFrame class. So JFrame is a class and window is an object, and this window object becomes the window. Now, we want a button on this. So we'll create a JButton class object and we'll set the height and width of this button, and then we'll add the button onto the window. Let me first change the F to window so that it will be more readable. Since this is the first program, for many of you who have not yet studied this, so this will be a bit, it needs a bit a level of understanding. So what we are doing, first of all, we are creating a window. So this line number 4 will be creating a window. How we are creating a window? We are creating an object of JFrame class. As soon as we create an object of JFrame class, we get a window. Now on that window, we want a button. So we have a JButton class. So this JButton class will create a button. On that button, it will be written click. If we want to write something else, click here to start. Whatever you want on the window, we can, on the button, we can write it in the, when we are creating the button. Now we have to set the size of the button and also the position on the window. So for that, we have a set bounds function. What does this set bounds function do? It gives the position of this button on the screen. So first two parameters are X and Y position on the screen, and the X and Y position starts from the top left corner of the screen. So if you can see the screen, 0, 0 will be the top left corner, and from there, if we move right, there will be the, this is the X coordinate, and when we move down, it is the Y coordinate. So X is 130 pixels, so it will be something after 130 pixel, and Y is 100. That means we are coming down to 100 pixel, and here the button will be created. And the width of the button will be 100 and the height will be 40. So when we are creating a button, we want to place this button onto the window. So to place the button onto the window, we have to supply the coordinate of the button where it should lie on the window, and also the height and width. So we are passing 4 values. The X and Y are the coordinate where this button will lie on the screen, and then we have to put the size of the button, the width and height. If we want to increase the width and height, we can increase it by uh, increasing the parameters. Now, this button that we have created is in the memory. We want this button on to be added onto the window. So we add window.add function, and this window.add function will be adding the button onto the window. As soon as this button is added on the window, it will go on this location where we have used in the set bounds. If we do not use window.add, so button will be created, but it will not be shown onto the window that we have created on line number 4. So once we create a window, then we create button. Now this button has to be added onto the window. So we have a add function, and this button will go to, on there. Now we have to set the size of the window. Window itself has to be set size. If we do not set size, it will be very small, that will be not visible. So we have to give the size of the window for height and width. Then we have to set the layout as null. Whenever we want to position the elements like button or text field somewhere on the window by using the coordinates set bounds, we have to set the layout as null. What is the importance of layout and how we can use it in our programs, that we'll be discussing in the coming session. And then we have to set window visibility to true. Once we set the window visibility to true, it will start, it will be displayed on the screen. So let me run this to show you different parts of this program, and I'll be using uh, everything to let you understand. Now you can see, coming to the code, this window that we have created is in line number 4. So this window that you can see on the screen has been created in line number 4. And in line number 6 and 7, we have created a button. This is the button. Okay. And we have, if we want the button to be on more lower part of the window, then we have to increase the y coordinate. And we want to shift it towards left, we will decrease the x coordinate. If we want to shift it towards right, we will increase the x coordinate. Then line number 9 will be adding this window to the this button to the window, so that this button is here. It can be placed here. Then we are setting the size of the window. This is 400, this is 400, and this is 500. The height is 500 and the width is 400. And this position here where my mouse is there, that is 0 0 coordinate. So when we are adding the button, the x coordinate goes this way and y coordinate goes this way downwards. So this is x is 130 and this is y is 100, and this is the position of the button on the window. And then the size of the button, it is width is 200 and its height is 40. And then we are using, you can see, we are using set visibility true. When we set visible uh, item to true, this window starts displayed on the screen of the user. If we do not use set visible true, window will be created, but by default, it is not visible on the screen. Now what I'll do, increase the I'll change the value of set bounds so that we can understand what is the x and y coordinates. So I'll decrease the value of x so that it will come towards left. The button will come towards left, and I'll increase the size. Or rather, what we can do, we can create one more button so that it is more, we can understand it properly. So what I'm doing now is I'm creating one more button here. Okay, so let this button be B1. This is B1. So I'll create one more button. This button will be B2. This is B2. And I'll use the caption as close window. And this will be suppose 10 coordinates, extreme left, and height will be, and the y coordinate will be 200, so it will be below. And the height, I'll increase the height to 70 so that it will be now let me run this program. Let us see what is happening. Still, we have got only one button. Why? Because we have not added the button B2 onto the screen. So now what we have to do? We have to use this line. Window dot add, and we'll add B2. So once we add B2 on the window, this will be added. Now let me show you. Let me run the program. See now. This button we have created, the coordinate is x is 10. So this is the distance of, from the left screen it is 10. From the top it is 200 pixels downward. X is uh, X is 10 and Y is 200. Now you can see the width of this button is 200, but the height I have increased from 40 to 70. So it is a bigger button as compared to the first button. And then we have added it. Now I want to increase the size of the window. So instead of 400, let me give it 600 and let me give it 300 just to see how it appears on the screen. So I'll close this window. I'll run this application once again. Now see, the default size of this window is as we have increased the width, but we have decreased the height. So the height is now 300. You can stretch the window, you can make it full screen, you can make it minimum screen, you can use the close button to close, everything is possible. So this is how build the first program. I hope this is clear up till now. I'll run this application once again. Now you can see how this window is appearing. I'll change the size. Now, if we want both the button, one below another, so X should be 130, Y should be 200, okay, width and height I like to have same, and width of the window should be suppose 400, height of the window should be suppose 500. And now let me see how it appears. You can see both the buttons. If you can see both the coordinates of both the button have the same width, the same height, because height and width they are given same. The X is also same, so the distance from left edge of the window is 130, and first button the height is starting height is 100. The second button starting height is 200. So this is how the coordinates can be used and the window can be created. Now, suppose we want here at the top something as a caption of the window, then we can provide it here. Let me see if it is coming. This is the title. So let me run the program. And now you can see whatever title you give, window programming in Java, it is coming here, window programming in Java. So this is very interesting. You can create a very beautiful windows for user interaction, and your application will be much liked by the user. Now coming to the second example, let me show you second example. It is the same program, but we have written a bit differently. Now, if you see this program and compare with the first program, it is almost same. In this program, we have written everything in the main, everything in the main. But now, what I have done here, I have not written anything in main. I have written everything in the constructor. You might be remembering the constructor. So we have a class example 2. We have created this window JFrame class object. This is we have instantiated, we have created the buttons, set bounds, and everything. Everything we have done in the constructor. So what will happen as soon as we create the object of this example, this constructor will be called and the window will be created. So this is also one way and a better way of writing, because once we will create a larger applications, so we cannot write everything in the main function. We have to use functions, so we can do it that way. Let me run this program to show you the output. See, this is what we are getting. This is almost same that we used in the previous program, but the programming concept is different. Now, what will happen if we use our own function instead of constructor? We'll write uh, create window, suppose. Then what will happen? This function will be not called automatically. The constructor function is called automatically, but the user-defined function will not be automatically called. So we'll have to, sorry, we'll have to call this. Okay. So now what is happening here? We have, this is our own user-defined function, create window function. You can see we have a create window function. And in the main, if you can see in the main, what we are doing, we are creating object of this class, and from the object, we are calling this function. So this is one way of programming. Why to write this way, and what is the difference in this? See here, we have everything in the main function. So if we create the window in the main function itself, then when we'll have the program will become larger and will use our own functions, there you will find it difficult to access the window, and every time a lot of parameters will require to be passed and the programming will become difficult. So what we do is a good practice to create functions to like manage the window. So this is another way of writing the program. Now I'll come to the third example. This example is also very important for you to understand, because here we are trying to interact with the user. Let me show you what we are doing here so that you can understand. Now here we have a text field and we have a button, and when the user clicks the button, when the user performs some action, then the text field is getting some text written there. So how this is happening, we'll try to understand in this program. So I'll keep the window also open so that I can explain you better. Now, first of all, we are creating JFrame class object F, and the title is button example. You can see button example being here. Now this text box, we are creating J text field TF. Text field are to make some input, take some input from the user, and also to give output to the user. So we want a text field, so we have created text field. Now, after creating the text field, we have to set the bounds where this text field will be visible on the screen. So the X and Y is 50-50 from the top, and from the left it is 50-50. The width of this text box is 150 and height is 20. Now we want a button. So we have created a button. The caption is click here. You can see click here. And we have set bounds. The X width is from the left. It is having a padding of 50 pixel. From the top, it is 100 pixel. Width is 95 and height is 30. And then what is important here is that we are calling a function add action listener, this p1.add action listener. So what will happen when we add a listener? So it will have interaction with the user. Now what we want when we click, so we want some action to be performed. So there is a predefined function action performed, and here we are writing tf.setText. Welcome to Java. So as soon as you click on the button, action perform button, so what will happen? This text will be set in the text field. So this text will be showing welcome to Java. Now we have to add the button as usual, add the text field as usual, set the window size, set the layout, set the visibility. So in this program, there are 2-3 very important things to be noted. First thing, apart from button, there is one more control element, that is text field, which can be used for taking user input as well as to give user some output. Okay. Now there is one more thing to be learned in this is that whenever we will click the button, so some action is to be performed. So we will call the dot add action listener. And in this add action listener, we have an action perform function. And whatever we want to write here, we can write. And when the button will be clicked, these elements, these statements will be executed. Now I want to add one more button. Click here and then the suppose clear the text field. So we need one more button. So I'll name this button as B1. Everywhere I'll write B1 so that this is for B1. And now I want one more button. I'm copying it. This is B2 button. Okay. This is B2. So there will be a clear text caption on the button B2. It will be having height from 150. And we'll remove the text so that it becomes empty. So when this second button will be clicked, the text field will set text as an empty text. So anything that was displayed welcome to Java will be removed. And now I'll add dev dot add D2. So it will go to the window. Now let me show you how it is working. As you can see, now we have two buttons. Okay. So we have button B1, click here. We have button B2, clear text. Okay, click here, clear text. Now, when this button is getting clicked, so this action performed function is called, and whatever we want to perform by clicking the button, we can write it here. And when we click here, this text field should be clear, which is not happening at the moment. I will have to check. So this click here. Okay. Here we have not changed B2. So that's why this function was not getting linked with button B2. You can see when we are clicking this button, this is the action that is performed. When we are clicking the second button, this is the action that is getting performed. So every button can be clicked and some different action can be performed. And then we have added the text field, the button, everything. So this is a session wherein we have learned how to create a window, how to add elements on the window, what is set bounds, how we can position our things on the window, and how to perform some action. And whenever we are performing some action, then you have to import java.awt.event. This is called event handling. So when we click on the button, the action needs to be performed, and that is happening with the help of java.awt.event. So java x.swing class has jframe, jtextfield, jbutton, and java.awt.event has the action listener and action perform functions. So this is how we can create. I'll keep this session small so that you can learn this. There's a first window based session, and we can have a session tomorrow or day after as quickly as you can understand this so that we can cover a lot of topics in Windows. There are a lot of things to be done, and then we'll start with our project as well. So if you have any question, you can discuss with me.